Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brock again today, and today we're going to be making a tong jig. It'll be helping me make tongs more easier and make them, I don't want to say this, they'll match each other better, I guess. So, what we're going to do, let me grab this right quick. This is going to be our base metal, the base of the jig. And then we're going to be trying to copy one of these arms on here, just a setup that we can use to lock metal in, and then have something right here that we can bend the jaws around, so you can see right there, and then have something that'll go right here that you can kind of like lock the jaw under, wrap it around, and then put it down here in the guide. Just so it makes the whole process just really simple. So I think I found this piece of metal right here. I bought this at a show. It's a piece of stainless steel. I think it's like 1.5 inch round stock. That'll work. It almost fits those jaws. Let me set this metal down right quick. It almost fits those jaws just perfectly, and that'll be a good rounding edge for making the jaw, or the tong jaws. So that, I think this is, I'll cut a chunk of this off so we can use it there, and if I find something just slightly bigger, I'll use that. And then I'm gonna set that down, and then for this I'll just cut a piece of angle iron, a chunk of angle iron, and weld it right there. And for here, if I can find just 2 pieces of flat bar that I can put the handle in to guide it, I guess you could say, that's what I'll do. I don't think I have any, but I might be able to find some. I actually think I see some in my scrap pile, but I'll get there in a minute. But and then what we're gonna do after we get that all sorted out is figure out a tong, or a jig, my bad, to make these pins. So my plan for that is I'll figure out how big around the diameter of this hole is. Then I'll get the same size stock, round stock, put it through there, hot cut it off, put this side on the anvil, hammer this side down where it's flat, and then do the same over here. Or I can make a rounding jig. I'm not for sure yet. The rounding jig would just make it a lot more prettier, I guess, for whenever I sell them. But we'll get to that point whenever we get there, and we'll figure it out then. But right today, that's what we're going to be making, is a tong jig, my bad. And yeah, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so first off, there's one problem with this piece of metal I'm going to use. I don't know if y'all can see that very well, but it has got the slightest bend to it. It just kind of shoots off that direction a little bit, and that's no bueno, because that'll throw off the tongs a little bit, I feel. So what I'm going to do to fix that and help keep it from doing that in the future, because I know heat causes the metal to warp, and the tongs are going to be red hot whenever they're on it. First off, I'm going to grind these little pegs off, and then I'm going to take this steel tubing right here, I'm going to weld it right here, just so it has some reinforcement, so it doesn't bend at all. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and grind this off, or grind both of these off, and then I'm going to weld this onto it and see if I can get it to straighten out without needing to heat it up. And if I need to heat it up, well, then we'll get to that whenever we get there. So that's what we're going to do now, is grind these off. Alright guys, so got this piece all ground down. Let's see, it's still kind of warm, but I got it all ground down, both sides, nice and shiny, good welding surfaces. That's why I did it, because one, I'm going to be welding the bar, the bar that's going to keep it straight on one side, and then the tools for the jig on the other. So might as well have it clean. So the next step is to try to get that piece of square tubing welded on here on one of these sides and try to get it straightened out, and then welded on there. The trouble I'm going to have with that is getting it straight. My vise here, it has a base where it can rotate if you loosen this dial up, but I was trying to tighten it and I broke it off, so it ain't getting tight no more. And I think it'll still work to get this piece straightened out, but right now I need to find something that I can use to clamp that piece of square tubing down on this on both sides, and it might be enough to bend it down onto it, and then I'll weld it. I'll just tack it on there and then weld it. I'm not for sure, so we're gonna play around with it and see where it goes. Alright guys, so I put it in the vise here, and whenever I tightened it down real hard, it really straightened it out. I think the best way to do this is to just work slowly this direction. So get it flat here, weld it, move it backwards, get it flat there, weld it, and so on and so forth. I think that'll give us better results than putting it in the middle and then working our way outwards. So I got the welder on, dialed in everything. Well, I think it's dialed in. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down a bead right quick. Alright guys, so I got the main base cooling down right there in the vise from welding, and so now I'm going to move on to figuring out lengths of the tongs here. I'm just running dimensions off of this because I probably will not be doing anything that has longer handles than this for a little bit, but I thought I was going to end up having to clean this piece up right here and using it for the sides, and then I looked and found some I think this is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square stock, and that will work amazingly. It's not ginormous like this is, like tall wise, and it'll just work 10 times better all the way around, I think. And I'll be able to use it, cut a chunk of it off for the stop up here for the tongs. Y'all can't see that, but right now I'm going to figure out lengths of the handles. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my tape measure right quick. Maybe. There we are. And so let's see how long these handles are from the shoulders right here. Oh, y'all can't see that, my bad. From the shoulders right here to the very end. So now I'm gonna measure out 15.5 on both pieces. Alright, sweet. So then put an X over here, X over there, so I know this is my good side. Alright, and then let's go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit and figure out I think this will work. I don't see maybe this might be a bit bigger. I don't believe so. I mean, it's a bit bigger. Not even worth working with it because it's not that much bigger. This same problem. So I think this will work just handy enough. Yeah, let's see. I think an inch of this cut off for the jig will work. Yeah, I'm gonna say an inch will work just fine. I'm gonna wait before I go on to making the stop for these right here, because I don't want to cut this and not have enough material for my measurement. So, excuse me, my nose is running. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these two things cut. This, I might wait and see if I can go use my buddy's bandsaw instead of having to use my angle grinder, because I just have a feeling this stuff's really hard and that it'll just eat my discs up, and his bandsaw will give me a cleaner cut. So we'll see where we get on that. But right now we're going to move on to cutting these. Okay guys, so I got the little piece cut out. I got these two pieces cut out, 15.5 inches. So now my next step is to get every measurement figured out to how and where I'm gonna put all these pieces on there. So I'd like to leave, let's see how long it is first. About 22 3/4. Let's see how long these tongs are in general. About 19 1/4. So 19 1/4, 22 3/4, so half. So I have like 2.5 inches or so. How long did I say this was? 22 3/4. 1, 2, 3. I got about 3.5 inches. So that'll be plenty. So I'm gonna leave me an inch on each side, just so I have that room. Just cause you never know. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark off an inch on both sides. Alright, so that's marked off. Now, let's see, our width, 3 inches on the dot all the way down. Okay, that's good. So, let's see, these are 1/2 inch. So let's see here. So if we cut that in half, that's 1.5 inches. And I determined I'm measuring off this piece of rebar I have here, because I doubt I use any material bigger than this for my tongs, and it is measuring about 1.5 in width and the diameter. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is, so half of 3 inches is 1.5 inches. So what I'm gonna do is go 1/4 inch right and left. Actually, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 5/16 out right and left. That way I have some wiggle room for 1/4 inch material. And that way I can fit pretty big pieces in there if I decide to make bigger tongs. So let me measure from here. So I need to go to 16. That's to the shoulder. How long did I say these were? 19 1/4. Alright, sweet. So I'm gonna measure out my length of my handles really quick. So that'll be 16.5 inches. And I know they're 15.5, but I'm giving myself an inch of extra room down here in case if I need it for any reason at all. Since I just have it, you never know. So 16.5, 16.5. Alright, and then what we're gonna do there is, since I've got these marks here already, I'm gonna go ahead and measure up here as well and go 5/16 out right and left as well. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time here in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even see that. Alright. Okay, so now my plan is, okay, there's those marks. Alright, sweet. So now basically all I'm going to do is put these right here, line them up with those marks. So this is what I'm gonna do. Don't mind that noise. It's a garage door opening. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these two right here. Tack weld them on the side so they don't move, and that'll be their permanent place. And then let's see if I can figure out. So that's the shoulder. Alright, sweet. That should work pretty good, actually. I'll have to do a little bit of thinking on how I'm gonna figure out where to put this little piece at, so it'll make this perfectly straight. So I'm gonna do a little bit of thinking on that, and then I'll come back to y'all.